Newsshooter coverage of IBC 2024 is sponsored by Sennheiser, Atomos, and B&H.
Hi, it's Matt for Newsshooter.com at IBC 2024. I'm with Florian from Kelvin. Now, you've got a firmware update that's just been released that adds something quite interesting to your lights.
Thank you very much for being here. Yes, I'm really happy about it. So I'm with the company for quite a while now, and what the guys achieved during the time was really amazing. So the Epos 600, which is the latest release in terms of hardware, of course needs to be supported by firmware. And I asked the guys, where can we improve and how can we improve? And I said, can we find some photons extra, you know? Illuminance matters. Anyone you ask is always asking you, can we have brighter lights? It's a very interesting discussion, but not for today. So what we try to dig into is how can we improve the light, but also the user interface, keeping the workflow as a core of our idea to simplify the workflow. So what we did primary was to update our so-called high mode. The high mode is now a combination of being usable with high frame rate shooting or high speed shooting, and it draws more power. It's called Epos 600, but it can draw a little bit more power. But it gives you also 20% extra, and it comes with a full flicker-free operation. How this has been done? Very simple. We do an analog dimming, and we exclude the PWM dimming. So technically, it's rather easy to be done, but the result ends up in 20% extra illuminance levels. And this is, sometimes you need a little bit more, and this gives you the little bit more.
Is this at the expense of anything? Is the fan noise louder in this mode or the same?
No, it is. We fix it to the high mode, so we have different fan modes, from really silent, quiet even, where we shut it off. But there is one high. It's still a variable mode, and it always goes to what really is only needed. But all the noise tests we have performed and also reviews conducted show that it's incredible less noise. So not the 20 dBA in 1 meter, which is very often asked and requested by different people. No sound engineer will complain or has complained, not even in broadcast studios, which is sometimes more difficult to deal with than location or cinematic style.
I think it's important if you're investing a lot of money in a light that you do get firmware updates, because there is so many lights out there on the market where, you know, the selling point is firmware updatable, and then you never ever see a firmware for that light. So if you're buying something, you want to have that long-term investment where features get added over time. So, you know, doing this actually helps your end user.
Yes, so our products are designed with the idea of providing longevity. Yeah? So some of our engineers really believe that people can't break our product. They will, they have somehow as well. But the firmware updates is part of that story. It's part of what I think is a service to the customers. So the product is one part of the service story, but firmware update improvement continuously need to come. So there is a little bit more than this high mode, which is, as I said, giving you extra. We increase also the number of dimming curves. I think we are now on industry standard by the number, but extraordinary in the performance. So we have now the 4, the S, the exponential, the logarithmic, and of course the linear. And they really get from onboard control in DMX that you have that extra dynamic in the low or in the high range. So the first 50% gives you just a range of 10% brightness, and you really can fine tune from 0.10% up to 100% stepless and really fine tuned a lot. And I think that gives you also, in combination with this high output maximum, a really good idea where you need to be precisely and accurate. Accuracy is one thing I need to extend a little bit more. Speaking of a high mode, it does not really decrease the color rendition. That's the fantastic story. So if you like to be the best maximum, then you go with the so-called normal mode, because it gives you CRI values up to 99, TLCI values up to 99, TM30 values between 103 to 105. So whatever metric you like. I only like the camera sensor, but other guys like the metric. SSI values, of course, are also great. So this is what you get in the normal mode. And there is a minimum, a very minimal decrease in the high mode. So you won't notice it. But to be fair, I have to say that. So CRI goes down to 95, from 96 or 97 to 95. That's all it is.
And moving forward, Kelvin is still, relatively new sort of company on the market. I guess your goal is to increase the amount of product that you've got and come up with some new fixtures. What can people expect on the horizon?
I see. Okay, it's always interesting, the question of what comes next. Honestly, there are a couple of possibilities I'm exploring. Some things I would say natural logic moves forward, taking the play series into consideration now with the Epos 300 and 600, in which way we might go. But there are a couple of possibilities, but what we will maintain is the idea of our really robust industrial design, which also looks great and feels great with the sheet metal and the machine stuff. And the second one is reusing our 6-color light engine, the Cantastoria, and all the benefits coming from it. So combining that stuff, there are a couple of ideas, but what I would rather be, I would like always stay rather close to the talent and not go the 10, the 15, the 20 meters off, because I think our benefit really is the color rendition. And I think that is why we would like to stay close to the talent or even an object, if it is. And this is where I explore. And there are a couple of ideas, different form factors, of course, keeping things easy, always with the workflow improvement in mind. I know everybody makes that statement. We try our very best to fulfill the promise.